Hey guys, okay, sorry, this is like a super weird angle. I'm trying to find a place to film that isn't 100% weird. So this is going to be my May wrap up. I guess I'll do a giveaway for this one too. So at the very end, I'll tell you what book I'm going to do the giveaway for, and then you can just tell me what your favorite book is and tell me that you would like to be entered in the giveaway. Um, at the bottom, I'm going to have it last less time though, so maybe until like Thursday because I'm going to be going on a train to LA because I'm going to Europe next week. Okay, so anyways, back to the books. um, the first book that I finished this month, I started in, or not this month, we're in June now. The first month that I finished in May was The Shining, which I started in April. The Shining is by Stephen King. That took way too long. The story is about Jack, who is a recently unemployed, I think, or like has been unemployed, a gentleman who used to be a university professor, and his wife and his child go and move to the Overlook Hotel in Colorado to be kind of like the undertaker. Well, his job is to be the undertaker, and they're obviously just going with him to keep him company. He's going to be the undertaker during the off season, so that the hotel doesn't kind of like fall to ruin. So there needs to be someone to like check the boiler and check the stuff and da da da. And it is really good. I gave it 4 out of 5. The little boy Danny is kind of like a telepath, and he can read people's thoughts and like feelings, and he has this little imaginary friend named Tony who's not so imaginary, and he kind of gives him like premonitions of what's going to happen in the future, but um, Danny doesn't really know that. I think he knows like something is happening, but he doesn't like, I don't know. He's a child. He's like 5 or something in the book, maybe 6. And yeah, it was really really good. The only problem that I had with it was the beginning part was a little bit too long. So like the introduction, the first like I want to say 250 pages are just like setting up what's gonna happen, and not even setting up. It's just like backstory of the characters. The book is about 600 or something pages long. I was really worried that it was gonna be rushed towards the end because I know I've seen the movie, so like I knew what was gonna happen. But I didn't feel that way at all. It felt still like a really slow, steady descent into chaos, and it was really good. The beginning part that I felt was too long did give you important information about like the family and their familial dynamics, because that's important to know as to why like things happen and why whatever happens. I felt like the female character though, whose name I cannot remember, that's probably not good. The wife, her character in the movie, I felt like was totally different from her character in the book. Like I thought her character in the book was much stronger than her character in the movie. In the movie, she was just kind of like, oh, pew, pew, pew. But in the book, she was much more like she was a stronger character, so I appreciated that. The next book that I finished was Game of Thrones. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. I can't wait to read the next one. I'm going to watch the first season this fall and then read the second book this fall. I don't know when yet, but I have other things that I'm reading right now. So it was so good. You probably already have heard enough about it though, so I'm not going to talk too much about it other than to say Sansa and Joffrey are the worst. I hate both of them. I hated Cersei like towards the beginning, but I'm starting to like not necessarily like her, but appreciate her as a character. And she's like a bad person that you know is bad. It's the other people that I don't like that are like pretending to be good, or like, oh, it's just because like da da da. Like, no, screw you. I hate you. You know, I hate liars. And yeah, basically, I hate Joffrey and I hate Sansa. And yeah, I hate some other people too, but I'm not going to mention them because it might give away what they do in the book if you haven't read the book for some reason yet. The next book that I mean, you know, I hadn't either. It's a big book, but you should definitely read it. It's a really, really quick read. The next book that I read was Persepolis Volume 2, which is a graphic novel by Marjane Satrapi. This was the second half. You've also probably heard enough about this and you don't want to anymore, but it's this girl, this woman, I guess now, her story. The first volume is like her childhood going up to the Iranian Revolution, and then the second volume, the one that I read, was when she moved. I forget where it was, but like it's like Switzerland or Vienna or some European country she moved to, and her trials and tribulations as like a young adolescent, and then going back to Iran after everything has happened. And I thought it was really really good too. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, 4 out of 5. I liked the first volume better for the historical content. Like we get a lot more information about the Iranian Revolution, but the second one I thought was really good. Um, like knowing about her, you know what I mean? Like it was the relationship aspect and like her loneliness and stuff, and then like how everything has changed. It was a while ago now since I've read it, but it was good. The next book that I read is the one that I have that I could actually show you. I read Pale View of Hills by Kazuo Ishiguro, who wrote Never Let Me Go, Remains of the Day, Remains of the Day, and The Buried Giant. So I'm sure you've heard of this author. This book was weird. I don't know. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I was reading it like intermittently not between like reading, but between life events. So I might not have gotten all that I could have out of this book. I might have not been paying as much attention as I should have been. Trigger warning if you like cats. Hopefully that's not a spoiler, but like it was rough to read this particular scene. It was okay. I might have already said this, but I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It's this woman. It starts off, she has 2 daughters, and I think it starts off with one of her daughters coming to visit her. And I don't know if she's moved. She lives in England now, yeah, but she's Japanese. And so it kind of goes back and forth between her with her daughter, and her other daughter has committed suicide. And so her daughter is visiting her, and it goes back from like that current narrative to back to like a certain summer when she met this one woman whose name I can't remember now, but she basically gets friendly with the woman and the woman's daughter, and like goes around with them. And the ending was very confusing. I'm gonna need to reread this book. I tried going online to like kind of look into what other people have said about it, but I didn't try very hard because I've been lazy. But yeah, it was very interesting. I'm curious to reread it. I think the problem is the narrator. I think she's weird. I think that's what the problem. Like the ending just confused the crap out of me. Anyways, if you've read it, please comment below because I have no idea what happened in that book. And then the last book that I read in May was Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi. I think that's what her name was. I have packed that book away and I can't remember, but you know what I'm talking about. It was in the Book Riot Quarterly box like a couple times ago. Everyone has been reading it. I loved this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know why I didn't give it 5. It's more of like a 4.5. It was really, really good. I guess it has something to do with fairy tales. I didn't know that going into it, and I didn't feel like I lacked anything reading it. I thought it was really interesting. It's the story of this man, Mr. Fox, who kind of creates this woman, Mary Fox, in his writing, and she is like an invisible figure in his life, but it's starting to affect his marriage, and so it goes back and forth between like different, it goes from Mr. Fox's perspective, Mary's perspective, and Mr. Fox's wife's perspective, Daphne, but then also every other chapter is like a different short story, and I loved them. I loved the short stories. It was so bizarre. It was like weird, but in a really, really fun, entertaining way, and I absolutely loved it. I'd be curious to like know what fairy tales she was referencing in the book, but again, I don't care. Like it was really good. It was weird as I like weird books though. I like weird things, but not like this weird. This was confusing weird. That's like fun weird. So yes. Those are all the books that I read. I feel like I read a good amount because Game of Thrones was pretty big, even though I had already read half of it in April. So for the giveaway, I guess I'm gonna do Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi. Technically, I gave 5 stars to Game of Thrones, but I liked Mr. Fox more. It's more like my style of book. So that's the type of book that I'm going to push on to you people. So if you want to enter to win a copy of Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi, please comment below. Tell me your favorite book this month. Be subscribed to my channel. And I never mentioned this, but if you're under 18, I guess I need like parental permission because you're going to be giving me your address for me to mail it to you. So I feel like that's kind of implied. But if it's not, you should include that. And yeah, so I'll have it go until like either Thursday or Friday. Most people watch these videos within a few days of them being posted though, so hopefully I don't miss anyone. Thanks for watching. Comment below with your wrap-ups. If I haven't watched them, I probably haven't because again, I'm like 1,000 videos behind. Yay! Hope everyone's doing well with the readathon.